a man called God. In a small, forgotten town buried between mountains and mist, a man arrived one cold evening. He wore a plain white robe, carried no belongings, and had a presence that silenced even the fiercest winds. No one knew where he came from, and no one dared ask. They just called him God. He wasn't tall or particularly handsome. His eyes were deep, not like wells of water, but like endless skies of stars. The first thing he did was touch the earth, and within a day, the dead crops turned green. People whispered. Was he a holy man? A trickster? A forgotten king? All they knew was that things changed when he was near. Children who hadn't walked for years suddenly raced through the fields. Old men who were blind wept as they saw the sunset for the first time in decades. The river, dry for nearly half a century, overflowed with crystal water the day after he sat by its bed. But he never spoke. Not a single word. They built him a temple at the highest hill. Brought him food, gifts, prayers. Some even knelt and begged for miracles. Still, he said nothing. Only smiled, a simple, tired smile, and continued walking the town's dusty roads as if searching for something he had lost. Then one day, a little girl named Ilara, who had been born mute, stood before him. She held out a withered flower, the last flower from her dead mother's grave. God knelt, touched the flower, and it bloomed wildly in her hands. And Ilara, who had never spoken a word in her life, whispered, "Are you lonely?" God's smile faded. For the first time, his eyes filled with something heavier than sorrow, a sadness as ancient as time itself. He lifted the girl into his arms, looked toward the endless sky, and for a brief moment, the entire town heard a sound they could not describe, part laughter, part weeping, part the shattering of 1,000 stars. And then he was gone. All that remained was the flower, now golden, glowing softly, and the girl, who from that day forward could speak in any language she wished. She told them God had been searching, not for worshippers, not for power, but for someone who could see him, not as a miracle, not as a god, but as a man, as a lonely traveler longing for home. And so they built no more temples. They told no more grand tales. They simply remembered him, a man called God, who walked their streets once, seeking nothing but kindness in a world too busy praying to look into his heart. If you met a man like God, what would you ask him? Do you think God was really a god, or just a lonely soul with a gift? Would you have trusted him if he came to your town? Why or why not? If you could have one moment of pure magic like Ilara did, what would you wish for? Drop your opinion in the comment section. Subscribe now and step into a world where legends walk among us, mysteries breathe, and every story leaves a mark on your heart. More unforgettable tales are just beginning.